Welcome back to our storytelling channel. Today, we will dive into one of the most famous Indonesian folk tales, the legend of Lake Toba. This timeless story is not only about how the largest volcanic lake in Southeast Asia was formed, but also carries deep moral lessons for all of us. Let's discover together what wisdom we can learn from the journey of Toba, his wife, and their son Samosir. Lake Toba, stretching 100 km long and 30 km wide, was formed by a massive eruption of the ancient volcano Toba, as explained on the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy website. However, local people have their own story about the origins of Lake Toba. In short, Lake Toba folklore tells the story of a young man named Toba and a goldfish. Toba made a promise to the fish but ultimately failed to keep it. Let's explore the Lake Toba folklore and its moral lessons together. Once upon a time, in a village in North Sumatra, there lived a farmer named Toba. He lived alone. Every day, he worked in the fields and fished to meet his daily needs. One day, Toba went to the river near his house, intending to catch fish for the day's meals. Armed with only a hook, bait, and a fishing rod, he headed straight for the river. Upon arriving at the river, the farmer immediately cast his line. While waiting for a fish to bite, Toba prayed, "Oh God, may I catch lots of fish today." A few moments later, the hook had the cast begin to wobble. He immediately pulled it in. The farmer was delighted to find that the fish he had caught was incredibly large. After staring at his catch for a few moments, Toba was shocked. It turned out the fish could talk. "Please don't eat me, sir. Let me live," the fish said. Without further hesitation, Toba immediately returned the fish to the river. A few minutes later, Toba was shocked again because the fish suddenly transformed into a very beautiful woman. "Don't be afraid, sir. I won't hurt you," said the woman. "Who are you? Weren't you a fish?" asked Toba. "I'm a princess cursed for breaking the kingdom's rules," replied the woman. "Thank you for freeing me from the curse. In return, I'm willing to be your wife." Without further thought, the farmer nodded. "Okay, I agree," he said. However, the woman made one final request. "You must promise not to tell anyone about my origins as a fish," said his future wife. "If that promise is broken, a terrible disaster will surely occur," she added with a serious look. After several months of marriage, Toba's happiness grew when his wife gave birth to a baby boy, whom they named Samosir. Their son grew into a very handsome and strong child, but he had a habit that surprised many people. Samosir was always hungry and never felt full. One day, his mother assigned him to deliver food and drink to the rice field where his father was working. However, he failed to fulfill this task. He devoured all the food that was supposed to be his father. Afterward, he fell asleep in the hut. Unable to bear the hunger any longer, Mr. Toba, who was in the rice fields, decided to return home. On the way, he saw his son sleeping in the hut. Mr. Toba immediately woke him. "Hey, Samosir, wake up!" he shouted. After his son woke up, the farmer immediately asked for his food. "Where is that food?" asked Mr. Toba. "We already ate it," replied Samosir. Hearing this, Mr. Toba immediately scolded his son. "You're a shameless child. You're a fish," cursed Mr. Toba, unaware that he had broken his wife's promise. As soon as the farmer uttered those words, his wife and son vanished. From where they had stood, a torrent of water suddenly gushed out, accompanied by rain and lightning. The water surged high and wide that it formed a lake. The lake eventually became known as Lake Toba. There are many more lessons to be learned from Lake Toba folklore. Here are some explanations. 1. Keep promises you make. The first moral is that if someone makes a promise, they must keep it so that no one is hurt. This can be seen in the character of Toba. Long before Samosir's birth, Toba promised his wife, who was once a fish, that he would never reveal her true identity. However, Toba broke his promise, which disappointed Samosir's mother. As a result, his son and wife disappeared, and a spring appeared that later formed Lake Toba. Second, obey parental commands. One lesson we can learn from Samosir is that a child should obey their parents' instructions. His mother had ordered him to deliver food to his father. However, the boy ate it on the way. And it's no wonder that Toba was overcome with anger at his son's actions. Third, do not take other people's rights. Another moral message from the Lake Toba folktale is that not to take what belongs to others. Samosir ate his father's provisions, which were intended for him. Taking what belongs to someone else is certainly not a good deed. 4. Control your anger. From Toba's story, readers can also learn the importance of passions and controlling anger. When someone is angry, they may unknowingly say something that could hurt others. This is what happened with Toba. When upset by his son's actions, he unconsciously called Samosir a fish child, thereby breaking his promise to his wife. And that's the story behind the legend of Lake Toba. From keeping promises, obeying parents, to respecting the rights of others, these moral lessons remind us of values that are still important today. What do you think is the most powerful message from this tale? Hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next folklore stories. See you in the next video. Bye bye!